Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, I am the Madman, and I have received a package today from Race Dynamics in India. Now what Race Dynamics do is they make electronics for vehicles, ECU piggybacks, performance ECUs, things like that. Let's go ahead and open this package and take a look inside, shall we? And there we are. Alright, the Powertronic plug and play performance. Alright, maximize your bike's performance, fuel, ignition, and traction control. One box for all. Alright, here is the unit itself. Alright. Let's see what we have here. Have a USB cable for connecting it to the computer, and looks like we have a little port here. We'll get into that in just a little while. Right, here's your wiring harness. Okay. All right. Replacement relay. A jumper harness. I'm going to assume this is for the lambda oxygen sensor. Looks like that plug. And we have the instructions, keychains, and stickers. Alright. Now there's going to be a link in the description below. After the video, go ahead and head over to Race Dynamics. Check out the Powertronic. They make them for just about every bike on the market. I will be right back with you on the installation portion. Alright, hang tight guys. Alright, we have everything loose here in the electrical box. There is your ECU. Alright, here's all your fuses. These little rubber retainers just pull right off of these little tabs. One here, one here, one here. Alright, simple as that. Next, we need to feed the wiring harness for the Powertronic through the little opening back here. It's very thin. The whole thing is just that wide. Just have to kind of snake them through there. Alright, be right back. Alright, as you can see, I did have to take the electronics box out to feed them through the rubber grommet here. That did make it a little easier. I say a little easier because a little easier. But it's not that big a deal. You start pushing them through here and you help peel it back this way over the connector and you can pull it right through. It's not that bad. Once I have them all through, I'll be right back with you. All the wires are through. And the first connection we're going to make is going to be the throttle position sensor. Throttle position sensor is going to plug in here, and this is going to plug into the throttle position sensor itself. So the throttle position sensor here, the plug, and the throttle position sensor itself is going to have this plug connected to it. Alright, I have the throttle position sensor already unplugged back here. Right here. And I'll go ahead and make that connection now. Alright, so that connection is made. And I just routed it behind here. Pretty simple. The next one is going to be the fuel injector. Alright, now I have the fuel injection plugged in here, right here, and right back there, as you can see, right there. Now I did have to take the head steady, or head stay, however you want to say it, loose here, raise it up, and then tighten the bolt to hold it up out of the way. No big deal, just so I could get to the other side of the fuel injector connection so that I could squeeze the tabs and pull it out. Alright, next, I forgot to mention also that the wiring harnesses are labeled. Spark, I'm not sure if you can see it here. Let's get a closer look. Injection, and the other one was TPS. Alright, let's go ahead and connect the spark up to the module, and I'll be right back with you. Before that, it does say to remove the fuel tank in the instructions. I did not feel like doing that. I wanted to save my back a little bit because it's full of fuel. That's my fault there. I just raised it up and put a spare piece of 2x4 under the two tabs, and that seems to work fine. Be very careful when you're moving around the fuel tank, because the outlet on the fuel pump is plastic. It will break. That makes for a very bad day. So be very careful with that. Alright, be right back with you. Okay, so we have our ignition coil hooked up here. Just bypass. Your ignition coil is just right under here, under this area, just under here. It's very easy to get to. The plug was a little tight, but not too bad. Alright, now while we have everything mocked up, let's go ahead and see if she'll start. Alright, here we are. Well, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Alright. Our next step is to hook up the Powertronic unit itself. Alright guys, there you have it. Everything is all squared away. Put my battery cover back on here in just a second. One thing I did forget to mention, it is pre-programmed. It has mode 1 and mode 2. Unplugged is 1, and plugged in is 2. Now you can also go on the computer and adjust your fuel and everything manually. I'll get to that in just a little while. Hooking the unit to the PC is simple via this USB cable. And it pulls right up. You're connected to the USB port. This one tells you which port you're in. See here. Click connect. You're now connected. And you can receive the information for which map you're on right now by going down to receive. Click that. It's reading the data from the ECU, and there's all that information. Alright. There's for the fuel. These red areas indicate where you are in the throttle as opposed to RPMs. The bike's not on, so it's just steady. Alright, this area right here, that shows what the Lambda O2 sensor is trying to do stock. And this over here, the fuel trim, will show you what it is actually doing over the stock. So you get two readings there. One for stock, what it's trying to do, and what the Powertronic is doing to override that. Over here is your ignition advance. Anything over green for the fuel is a positive overstock, and anything in yellow is a negative, so it's under stock. And the ignition advance is the exact opposite. Anything yellow is above, anything green is below. And this is how I have it set up right now. I think I'm going to change a little bit here. Give me one moment. Alright, there we are. Made a few changes. Now to make the changes, you click the cell you want to make the change in, or you can drag it like that. And then you set your value, or you can change it by a value, negative or positive. So let's go ahead and put that same number back in there. 5, boom. There we go. If we wanted to change it, we would go 4, or whatever number we wanted, and it would change. Alright, let's go ahead and start the bike up. Alright, now as you can see there, all the information was changing. This little thing was blipping around there. As you see here, that's the original oxygen sensor reading. That's what the ECU is trying to do. And here is what it's actually doing. It's setting at 5. So it's wanted to be 4.5 or something around there, and it changed it to 5. Alright. Let's go to our ignition advance, and we have nothing set over here. That's farther up in the RPM range. You can go ahead and play around with that. Be careful, don't go too advanced. You'll get run a little hot. Don't retard it too much, of course, because you'll get spark knock and pre-ignition, and that is not good on the big end. Let's see here. Fuel 2, and that's really not pertinent. And ignition 2, that's not pertinent at all, really, for this setup. Let's see. Quick shift, that is, I do not have that activated. It's for the shifter, the hydraulic shifter, which is separate. Configuration, you can auto-calibrate. You've got a minimum load and a maximum load. Let's go ahead and auto-calibrate now. Once you hit auto-calibrate, it's going to tell you to let the engine idle and then go to full RPM. Do it really quick, let off, and that's going to calibrate everything. Auto calibration is complete. Just click OK. There's your raw values. And there you are. You've got a calibration tab. That's the factory calibration. Don't mess with that. Here you have your graphs of your fuel trim, load, noise capture, of course your RPMs, and your ignition trim. You have your dials here. Let's go ahead and just show you the graph. There you see. Alright. Let's go to our dials here. This is kind of cool. It shows you your ignition trim, your fuel trim, your load percentage, and your RPMs here on a dial. There you are. That's kind of neat whenever you're tuning everything in. And of course your firmware is just the processors and serial numbers. You can upgrade it. Right now it's the highest one. Alright. Let's see here. Let me show you something here. This is where I'm idling. Alright, let me go ahead and set my value. You can type in the number you want here. Let's go ahead and put it at 25 because you can go up to positive 25 or down to negative 25 under or below stock. Let's set it. Alright, now let's send it. You hear that? The bike is chugging way down. Let's go ahead and fix that. Set that back to 5. Set it, send it. And there comes the RPMs back up. And there you have it, guys. Over here is all your information. This is the perfect thing for tuning your bike. You're going to get full control over the fuel, full control over the ignition. You're going to be able to map out every little piece, every little detail for every RPM range. You can't get that with any other controller, I don't think, on the market for this price. So this is the way to go. I made some changes there just to show you. Alright, now once you hit send down here, it says sent to the ECU there, as you can see. Now nothing is going to be set in stone until you click burn, and you cannot burn it onto the ECU until you shut off the bike. So let's go ahead and shut it off. Go ahead and click burn. Alright, it has been made permanent. Please shut off the vehicle and then proceed. Let's click proceed. You can see down here, burning data to the ECU. Burn to ECU successful. So even if you click that send while you're making some changes just to see how it affects it, don't worry about that. If you don't like it, you can turn the bike off, disconnect everything, and start over again. Alright guys, I am going to go for a ride on Fieldy with the setup that I have now. Look at the fuel. And this is just about right. And I will let you guys know what I think. Alright guys, let's talk a minute about performance. What are you going to see after you connect this unit to your motorcycle? Well, you're going to see quicker throttle response. You're going to get less struggling and kind of, I noticed some owners of Royal Enfields complain about a little, it kind of cuts in and out at certain RPMs. That's going to be out of the way. You're going to see more horsepower. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel more torque. And you're going to feel an all-over better feeling from your motorcycle, all throughout the RPM range. Now, map 1 is for just your stock bike with not that many upgrades. It's going to be where you want to start off at. The second map is for the racetrack. Now they also have a map for when you put in a free flow exhaust and a free flow filter. You can download that from their site. I'll leave a link in the description below. But you're going to see a complete difference with this unit. You're going to be amazed. Alright guys, the weather's been kind of crappy as you can see. But let's see, we've gone over the unboxing, what the Powertronic comes with. We've gone over the pretty straightforward installation, and we've gone over how to use it on your computer and how to tune the Powertronic. Let's do a little bit of a comparison. Here in the States, one of the leaders is Power Commander. Now the Power Commander controls your fuel and ignition. Okay, it's also $430. If you want to incorporate the oxygen sensor, you've got to get the AT unit. That's another $230. Now, if you want to switch between maps with the Power Commander, you got to get the little switch. That's another $50. Right now we're right around $800 for the Power Commander. Now with the Powertronic, it incorporates all of those things, shipped to your door for about $300. Now let's talk demographics. The Power Commander is mainly here in the United States. Alright, they're good with Harley-Davidson, Indian, and I'm sure a few others. But as we know, our Royal Enfields are made in India. The Powertronic was developed in India, so they know their domestic market. So more bang for your buck, guarantee with the domestic market. What more could you ask for? For $300 shipped to your door, you get everything you need to make your bike what you want. If you change the exhaust, you change the air filter, you can compensate for that. You want to go ahead and advance the spark, you can compensate for that. You want to see exactly what your motorcycle is doing in all ranges of the RPM, you can do that. Guys, I'm telling you. If you want to wake up your bike, go ahead and give it a shot of adrenaline right to the engine. Powertronic is the way to go. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and since you're here, you might as well subscribe. Now again, the links to everything Powertronic, how to buy the unit, is in the description below, and there's also a link to the uploadable maps that cover just about everything you need right there in the description below. Thanks guys.